National Signing Day is coming up on December 4th, 2 weeks from this Wednesday, and it's time to start talking about these commits for Ohio State. Ohio State currently has 26 players committed, and unfortunately, not all of them are going to sign with Ohio State. There's always some late game flipping or whatever else going on, but the good news is that Ohio State is in the flip game as well. They are looking to try and flip some of these guys also. We will see what happens, but I'm going to make this quick video. We are just going to go briefly through the class, and I'm going to give you my confidence level on each recruit and a couple of other guys who I think could flip to Ohio State, and give you my confidence level on will they flip or will they not. So the way we're going to do this is it's like confidence panic meter, okay? Number one, I'm panicking. I don't know why this guy's still in the class. I don't think he's going to sign with Ohio State. Number five is like I am totally confident he is signing with the class. Number three is kind of like I could go either way. I see what's going on with both sides. I might give you my lean a little bit, but I'm going to try not to give you guys very many threes. I'm going to try to give you as many 1, 2, 4s, and 5s as I can. And if I give you a 3, I'll give you kind of the way I'm leaning. So let's start with quarterback, because it's great news. Tavian St. Clair, he's a 5. Easy. All right. He's staying in the class. Number 2 quarterback in the country, firmly in the class. No sign of wavering. He's going to be a Buckeye. Running backs, more good news. Bo Jackson, Isaiah West. I have both of them as a 5. I think there's no wavering. There's no visits we've heard of. There's no rumors of visits or anything. So I think they stay. A possible flip watch, Anthony Turbo Rogers just decommitted from Alabama. Now, we knew he was going to decommit from Alabama. I mean, you even talked to Alabama fans, and they knew he was going to decommit. I am pretty certain he will flip to Ohio State, coming off that visit to Ohio State just recently, and he has a great relationship with Coach Locke, and I feel like this one's going to go for Ohio State, so I'm going to put it at a 4. I'm not quite at a 5. I don't think it's a for sure yet, but very confident that it's going to go the Ohio State's way, so I'll give him a 4 to flip to Ohio State. Wide receivers, little bit of drama here. So Bodpin Meller, Desi Jones, Phillip Bell, I'm all giving a 5. They're all coming to Ohio State. I firmly believe that. The one that I have a bit of question on is Quincy Porter. Now, you might be saying, JR, why in the world would Quincy Porter, think to go someplace else? Quite frankly, playing time, the opportunity to make an impact right away. That all is very intriguing to Quincy Porter. Now, I'm not buying the stuff as much as some other people, so I'm actually going to go with a 4 for Porter. But as the days go on, there does seem to be more rumors about him coming, going to maybe a Penn State or something like that. That's been kind of the one that he's flirting with a little bit more. He was on a visit there. You saw the video, probably. Quincy Porter didn't necessarily have the best look on his face when James Franklin hugged him. So I'm kind of like in between a 3 and a 4. Honestly, I wanted to go with a 3, but like I said, I didn't want to do that for you guys. I want to try and take a stand on one side, which, not everybody does that. They just kind of want to meet in the middle sometime. I don't want to do that to you guys. I want to, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is, but I lean more toward the 4. So I'm actually probably closer to a 3, but to just give you guys a straight up answer, I'm going to give you a 4 on that one. Tight ends, 5. Nate Roberts, Brody Lennon, they aren't going anywhere. They're locked in. Credit to Keenan Bailey. He's done a great job with getting these guys in the class and keeping them committed. Even with Brody Lennon growing in his recruiting ranking and everything like that, he's still locked in with Ohio State. Offensive line. All right, so Carter Lowe, Jake Cook, Javen McFadden, Justin Fry, doing a good job here. All right. I have a 5 for all of those guys. I think those guys are locked in. I don't think they're wavering at all. There was some thought about Javen McFadden maybe, continuing to consider Colorado, but that doesn't really seem to be there. He is close to Jordan Seaton, but I don't think that has matriculated. I probably said that wrong. I don't think that is going to happen. So we're going to go with a 5 for all of them. And then there are 2 flip targets here. I'm actually going to give both of them a 2. Damola Ajitahun, that is the Georgia Tech commit, who is currently deciding right now between Ohio State, Georgia Tech, South Carolina. From all indications, looks like Georgia has kind of abandoned that one for whatever reason. They just don't seem too interested in him anymore, or he doesn't seem too interested in them. And then Micah DeBose, who we will know more if he comes to the Michigan-Ohio State game. A lot of people dismissing this one. And I did dismiss it a little bit there because it did kind of feel like maybe he was just trying to use Ohio State to get some more NIL at Alabama. But that situation doesn't seem to have worked out the way many of us thought it would. So I know Berm is one of the only people on the beat that's really talking about him. I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't know if somebody else has heard something that I don't know, or maybe there's a rumor going out there that I don't know about. But I still think Micah DeBose is a possibility here. Now, again, I have him as a 2. I'm not predicting he'll be in the class, but I do think there's more of a possibility here than people give him credit for. I think Damola Ajitahoon is probably going to go to South Carolina or Georgia Tech, one of those two. I think Ohio State is a nice little story piece here and something that he's considering, but I think at the end of the day, he's probably going to be in either proximity to home with a really good education or go someplace where the playing time is probably more likely early, even though I know Ohio State has been pitching. You could play early here. I just don't know if Ajitahoon is that caliber of player to play his freshman year or his sophomore year. Probably not definitely his freshman year, but the possibility of him playing his sophomore year, I don't know if he's that quite that caliber of player. And that's not me diminishing him at all. It's really, really hard to play your freshman year in college, even sophomore year. It's really hard to do. That's why Carson Hinsman is kind of an anomaly that he started at center his redshirt freshman year, and why it has aided him so much. So, Berm predicted that one of these two guys would be in the class. Again, maybe he knows something. I mean, I'm sure he knows something. I don't know, but the possibility is there. So I got a 2 for both of them, but there is confidence from other people on the beat that there does seem to be some possibilities there that maybe others are not recognizing as much. All right, defensive line. Another one here. This one's probably the most complicated one we'll get into, and we'll probably spend the most time on. So I have good confidence in Maxwell Roy and Trajan Odom. I have a 5 for both of them. I don't think either of them are going anywhere. Maxwell Roy, Trajan Odom. I have a 4 for Zion Ziggy Grady. There's been some rumors that he might be not wavering, but maybe interested in some of the Alabama or Auburn. I can't remember which one for sure. I think it's Auburn. But there's some thought process there that he might be interested in them. It's more of a rumor than anything for sure. So that's why I just have it as a 4. I do think Zion Ziggy Grady will be in this class, but there are some rumors out there, so I can't put him at a 5 with Roy and Odom. The other 3, Zahir Mathis, London Merritt, Jarquez Carter. All 3 of these are very possible flip watch. All right, so Mathis. This is honestly probably the one I'll have to go with 3. I don't want to go with a 3, but I'll probably have to go with a 3 here. I'm leaning 4. I just don't know if I am close enough to actually say 4. So I'm going to go with a 3 with kind of a lean a little bit to the 4. I'm feeling better about Mathis than I am worse about him. But Penn State has made a push for him. My thought process here is we probably would have heard more about Mathis in Penn State. And honestly, if he was going to go to Penn State, I think he probably would have decommitted by now. So it makes me feel better that he's in the class, but with how quiet Mathis is and how his recruitment is kind of drama free, and he just kind of does what he wants to do, I still have to keep it a 3. But I feel better than a 3 about it. I'm just not quite good enough to go to a 4 yet. London Merritt, I do not feel good about at all. He made 2 visits to Colorado this fall. His decision is going to come down to either trusting Ohio State's process or taking the largest NIL package, which will be offered to him from Colorado. Ohio State is just not willing to match the NIL package that Colorado is pushing on them. Doesn't mean they don't have the money. Doesn't mean that, Colorado won an NIL battle. This is just a situation where Colorado is willing to pay him more than Ohio State is. You can call that whatever you want, but that is Ohio State's doing that they don't want to offer him any more than what they already have. We can argue about if we think that's a good decision or not. Personally, I like that Ohio State sticks to kind of what they think each player is worth because I think it's a good consistency. I think it's a good pro mindset that a lot of these programs need. And I think it lacks desperation. right? I think when you overpay guys, cough, $10.5 million to a quarterback, that's your hometown kid. I think that screams desperation. And I think that Ohio State being willing to say, no, our development is good enough and our program is good enough that if you want to go to a dumpster fire of Colorado, who Dion is probably not going to be there next year because his son graduates and goes to the NFL, you can do that, but you're missing out on the opportunity here at Ohio State. And if you leave, they move on. Not a whole lot of, especially this time of year, not a whole lot of, begging for you to come back. So I don't think London Merritt is going to be in this class. I have him as a 1. That might be a little strong, but that's just kind of where I'm at right now. I don't have much confidence in him being in the class unless something happens with Colorado, but I don't see anything like that happening before signing day. Jarquez Carter, I have a 2. He is considering Florida and Miami. Florida is kind of the hometown school. Now, if you know anything about Jarquez Carter, he's more of a Florida State fan than a Florida fan. He kind of was one of those kids that grew up in the Florida town and just wanted to be different. So he's a Florida State fan instead of a Florida fan. But the one I'm really more concerned about here is Miami. Miami is pushing Jarquez Carter pretty hard. I think Jarquez Carter will flip to them. Not for sure on that, but I think that will happen. I mean, you could ask me 2 days from now, and my thought process might be different. So this is one I'm kind of wavering on a little bit. We'll see. We might hear some more rumors as it comes up to it, but that's kind of where I'm at right now, a 2 for Carter. And then the last one, he's not a commit, but he's a, commit target, and that's Jakeem Stewart. Jakeem Stewart, he's considering pretty much Ohio State, LSU, and Oregon. I actually have LSU running 3rd in this. I know a lot of people are giving credit to LSU because it's the hometown school and stuff like that. I don't think that matters to Jakeem Stewart. Maybe it will matter more once it comes to signing day and stuff, but I don't think it matters to him very much. I think that he's a kid that wants to kind of spread his wings and do his own thing, and that happens from time to time in the state. I mean, just look at Trey McNutt, right? He wants to spread his wings. I mean, he's even gone out to try and be a rival to Ohio State in some ways, which, you know what, young man, teach their own. I think it's kind of stupid, but whatever. It's your choice, man. But I do think that this is a race for Jakeem Stewart between Oregon and Ohio State. And I think that Oregon right now is winning that race. I would have Ohio State running number 2. So, i.e., why my confidence level right now is at a 2. I'm panicking more than I have confidence. And I think there's too many things that Oregon does that fits Jakeem Stewart. Obviously, the NIL, Oregon is, it's just substantial what they're doing right now. Do I think Ohio State has enough money to match? Sure, on certain players, but not on every player. And so that's just kind of where Ohio State's at right now. And like I said, kind of the vibe of the whole program. He has a really, really good relationship with the coaches, really good relationship with Dan Lanning. And I think that his just like general confidence in himself and the confidence in his game, it fits better with Oregon than it does at Ohio State. Like Oregon has that vibe of kind of like arrogant, cocky stuff like that. And I think that is, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways for a young football player like Jakeem Stewart, especially somebody who's a early enrollment, who's graduating early. But I think that general confidence vibe fits Jakeem Stewart better at Oregon than it does at Ohio State. Now, we'll see. Jakeem will most likely be back for the Michigan game. Whew, sorry, guys. Late night. Jakeem will probably be back for the Michigan game, so we'll see if anything happens during that one. But for now, my confidence level is Ohio State is 2, running number 2 behind Oregon for Jakeem Stewart. And then finally, no, not finally, we have 2 more. Linebackers, Riley Pettijohn, Eli Lee, 5 for both of them. I have very little concern for each of them. Actually, I have no concern for each of them. That's why I have both of them a 5. And then I have a 1 for Alford. Honestly, I could go with a 2. Maybe 1 might be a little strong, but the Steve Wiltfong Fong bomb came out today for him to flip, and that kind of took me from like a 2 to a 1 with where things are at. So the rumors are that his dad really wants him to go to Miami. That's kind of the school his dad is really in favor of. And then, I mean, standard Miami, they are just offering him a substantial NIL package that Ohio State is not willing to match. Which, again, you can frame this however you want. I'm sure Ohio State fans will say, oh well, they overpaid him and they outpaid us, outbid us, or whatever. I just don't do that. I think blaming NIL is just kind of pathetic. I'm not trying to be mean, but I just think as a fan, like sometimes you just get beat out. Like we can't just blame everything on this team offered more money. There's plenty of recruits that don't take the biggest financial offer because they like a school better or they see a future of development there. So TJ Alford 1, maybe 2. Like I said, the Steve Volt Fong bomb really brought me more to a 1 than a 2. And then finally, the defensive backs: Devin Sanchez, Fahim Delane, Deshaun Stewart, Cody Haddad. I don't think I'm missing anybody there. Devin, yeah. Those all I have a 5 for. I feel really good about them. The Naeem Offord one this is honestly probably the one I feel the worst on. Naeem Offord, I just have a 1. This kid just loves the process. He loves visiting. He loves getting paid to visit places. But I think he's going to Oregon. I don't think he's going to Ohio State for various reasons. And I'm not going to get into them on this show because that could be a whole show in its own. Number 1, and number 2, Offord and his family, they are willing to go after people, and I don't want them to go after me, quite frankly. So I don't know. You can say that's soft or whatever, but so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So Offord, I have as a 1. We'll probably go to Ohio, and would be surprised if he comes to Ohio State in this one. So yeah. That's where I'm at. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. Let me know what you guys think. If you think that you are higher on somebody else than I am, if you think that you are lower on somebody else than I am, you think I'm missing something, let me know. If there's somebody you think, oh yeah, this is a flip target watch, I want to know more about them, anything like that, always get in the comment section if you ever want to request a video or something. I'm gonna start doing a lot more recruiting videos for this channel here. So if you guys ever want to know anything, if you want a video about a certain player or anything like that, let me know. Would love to just give you guys whatever you want to hear about. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out my more Big Ten content, go on over to the Big Ten Huddle. We have a football channel and a basketball channel. The football channel is the Big Ten Huddle. It has the grass background, and then the basketball channel is the Big Ten Huddle dash basketball. It's got the same logo with a court background instead of grass. And then as always, you can find me over on Twitter at JRs_rankings, and would love to hear from you guys over there. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a good one.